Cyber season is in full swing with our pals Isotope and Native Instruments.
Get huge discounts on everything from Guitar Rig 7,
Complete 14 bundles,
and one of our favorites here at the Cult and Culture Podcast,
Ozone 11 EQ. Go to isotope.com
and nativeinstruments.com
to feast on the audio goodness. Yum.
You can also get additional savings on other softwares by using the code
RUIN10.
DistroKid now also has a motherfucking app. The DistroKid app is available for iOS and Android. You can download it at distrokid.com/app/, or you can get it in the App Store.
Welcome to Cult and Culture, Episode 3 with Jung Sing. We're going to talk about being a band from Mexicali and touring in the United States, and politics that surround both countries and border relations, musicianship, and a bunch of other stuff. So here we are with Jung Sing, one of my best and dearest friends, bandmate, ex-bandmate for All Leather. He sings in Silent. You have other projects going on. What else are you doing?
First of all, hola.
Hello, motherfucker.
No, I'm doing that. Right now, Silent. I'm really focused on that right now. And I used to do All Leather, like with you. And in some of their bands in the past, like Maniqui Lazer. And I did this solo project called Skem. It's like some like experimental electronic like project I did.
Initially, we met. You were a drummer and singer for Maniqui Lazer.
Yes.
But you're not drumming anymore?
Not drumming anymore. Now, I'm really focused right now on Silent. I mean, it's my priority, I'm going to say, like, right now. So we're writing a new record, actually. We got, like, some new tracks right there. So I'm really into it right now.
So when we do the Cult and Culture stuff, the podcast, and even before we do the podcast, we do these like little snippets, I would always try to focus on talking about the things that like weren't obvious. Like, I don't want to talk to you about music, let's talk about this other thing. But I do want to ask you about some stuff related to your bands, but mainly I guess let's just talk about Silent, since that's your main project. But I feel like you've taken a turn musically because it seems so different. Your vocal style is so much different than how you sang when you were in Silent. What do you attribute to that, or why, or how? And
well, the thing is, with Silent, is the whole thing is different. I mean, when we start writing the Eccentric Reviews, or our last record or our first record, we did we started writing, me and Alex, and the whole thing, the whole music just like gave me a path to do it. You know, like I tried a different style of singing, and it's like, no, this doesn't sound right or cool or good, you know. And then I tried this, and I tried like higher pitch, and then middle, and then I tried this like lower thing. It's like, well, that's it. Yeah. I think it fits. I tried to find a different way to sing, because I don't want to sound like my older band, and because this project is totally different, and I tried to be a different singer for this, and that's how I started singing like this.
It's great. I was shocked.
So much. Yeah. I like, it's weird because people like came to me and said like, I didn't know you can sing like this.
Yeah, I didn't either.
Like, nah, like you're good, man. I'm like, oh, thank you.
How long did that take to feel comfortable and happy with what you wanted?
Well, I don't know. Actually, I started like singing. I tried at the beginning when we made like the first like 4 songs. I started singing, and I was like, no, this doesn't sound right.
Like higher pitched.
Yeah, like regular,
screamy, or
kind of like I tried like screaming, and I tried all this, and it's like no, because the music to me is like I don't know, like darker, and I thought in my mind, like, well, this song can be singing by a gentleman. I think that's how I think, and I was like, whoa, let's try to sing like a
gentleman,
like
Frank Sinatra.
I'm in love with a
well, I mean, like a lower like ways to be, because the whole music to me is like really atmospheric. Like, is a word?
Yeah.
Atmospheric, and and I think it's kind of like it can put you into something, and I try to do the same thing with the voice.
Sure. And I guess the music, even in Maniqui Lazer or All Other, was also atmospheric in a different atmosphere,
Yeah.
and so it kind of made sense.
Yeah.
Okay, that's interesting. But let's talk more about the substance that's behind the new Silent record, because for me, like my relationship with you, we met when the Locust toured with Maniqui Lazer, and
Yes.
you know, we got you to play in All Leather once our first drummer quit, and it was strange to me to kind of see this. Your lifestyle is a lot different because you would have to travel here, and it wasn't like, you know, me rehearsing with someone from Los Angeles. It was me rehearsing with someone from another country, you know, and it was crazy because I mean, I think it caused a lot of problems, probably more so with other people that we played with than me, but like your timing and when you were able to get here, because you would get stuck at the border and you know, things like that. But even in recent times when Retox and Silent went on tour, it was always an issue of you being in the United States illegally and touring. So I know this is like a, a very large topic to kind of address, but I want to know like how it is for you as a musician and then as an artist, being from Mexico and trying to, you know, the word successful is such a strange word to use, but okay, for lack of better words, be a successful musician and be able to play in the United States, but also like what there's the content to Silent and the cover of your record and the name of the album and some of the lyrics that you write and stuff. I mean, I'm sure it you know, art is a reflection of the world that you live in, you know, so go ahead.
Yeah. I mean, yes, everything was like a chain, you know. You got all these little pieces, and you start like build something.
Sure.
And we remember we start like writing a record, and then we was there in Mexico for sure, and all these news about like Donald Trump, like it's gonna be the president, and he would go to elections and stuff like that, and it was like, whoa, this is gonna be kind of like odd or weird, you know. And then
but can I interrupt you real quick?
Yeah,
Because do you think things changed? Because I mean, okay, it like became like a little bit more open and obvious for like people to, like neo-fascists to be openly neo-fascist. Like, you know, the Klansmen kind of could take their hoods off and be like, hey, I'm here and I'm still a fucking asshole, you know. But you were dealing with a whole other set of things, like, because I remember like, I think it was Chinese Stars were in San Diego and they were supposed to play in Mexicali, and there was the beheading of the police chief in Mexicali, and they were so scared to go there, and I was like, and I was trying to tell them, like, you guys are probably the only people that would be safe there, you know.
Yeah,
so,
no, I mean, like, it's like I'm not gonna say or like try to talk about like, oh, Mexicali is not dangerous. It's a good place. I mean, it's a good place, but we have this side of people who's doing about like the drug cartels and the drugs. Like, actually, like a couple of months ago, like I think 2 months ago, is this like diner there in Mexicali, and people used to go there, not anymore. Well, people still go, but not the bunch of people. But some dude just drove there, like he took out of his car, fucking killed like 5 people. Like
the drug cartel person?
No, there's like young guys, like 22, 23 years, but they're like a dealers, like small dealers.
Sure.
But the guy shot like
it's like a small
like,
dog syndrome,
yeah, like 5 person, and he killed 3 and 2 were like wounded.
Wow.
But it was like and a couple of friends were there. You know, that's how we roll.
Yeah.
Like, and then after that, a week after that, this like guy from the government was eating in a restaurant, and then some dude came there and bam, he shot him, but he missed it.
He missed him.
Yes. And it's weird.
Wow.
But we're dealing with that kind of things.
Yeah.
And then we got this thing, like, because some of the people in Mexicali work at the U.S. and it's a lot of like people like transit, like people like going back and forth to the States. But right now it's so hard, you know, because they ask a lot of questions. It's fucking bullshit. I don't know. I'm just saying. But today I came here and we did like 2 hours line, you know.
Yeah.
And I'm not like complaining about it, but a couple of years ago, it was kind of like easier.
Huh.
But
So even when you were playing in all leather, it was easier.
well, kind of, you know, it's because to be in, I mean, in all leather, I remember I loved to play with all leather, but it was kind of hard, you know, and all this like money things and
Yeah, sure.
stuff, like because we use the pesos, you know, and we have to exchange the money to dollars, and the dollar is expensive now. Like right now, in like a month ago, $1 means like 20 pesos, and it's like
Nothing.
crazy.
Yeah.
The minimum wage in Mexicali is like $2 per hour.
Wow.
I think less than that.
Yeah.
It's crazy, and it's hard. But the thing is, like we like to do music, and it's the only way we can do it. Put like a double effort of it.
So do you think that the music that you created in Maniqui Lazer is drastically different than the music you're creating now with Silent?
Yes, because I mean,
Maybe sonically or the sound, but like
no,
what about
but
the lyrics or the message?
Everything, the lyrics and the feeling.
Uh-huh.
Because I when I played with Maniqui Lazer, we were like punk kids. You know? We're punk, and we were trying to play music and to have fun. I mean, not like the '80s, but
But there was still like
it's still something because we
like there was still angst.
Yeah,
and,
we
you
were
know,
angry all the time. Even
No, but like angst, like you were still like you had like a more, I don't know, like now it seems like there is a lot of intensity in Silent, but it's very somber and it's very dark and serious. And before it was like not quite.
Because I mean, we were like we tried to tell something to people in Maniqui Lazer, to be more like when I'm saying like punk, and be like and show our rage. Fuck you. But now I think we're trying to be serious about it because we're a grown up.
Yeah, matured.
Yeah, more mature, you know.
You fucking cockroach.
And we saw like everything like around us, like even when we're going to pay something and to buy something, or how hard it is to live. So if we're gonna say it, we're trying to figure it out how to say it and to be. This is not a joke.
Sure.
Let's do it our style and how we do it and the way how we can do music. But let's do this thing like serious. Like we're not playing.
So like when like fans of Maniqui Lazer could essentially like look at it, or not even fans, people that would like experience like Maniqui Lazer could kind of like say, oh, it was like kind of cute, right? It wasn't as like serious. And now I feel like with what you're doing is very serious, and like it's more of a mature way to say like a similar message, but with more maturity.
I think it's kind of similar, but the way we're saying it right now, I think even if it's more mellow, the music is more mellow. I think it's more aggressive.
You think that Silent's more mellow?
Yeah. Huh. A little bit. Not mellow. I mean the tones, or probably it's like it's not that fast.
Okay.
You remember when Maniqui Lazer were more faster and louder.
Yeah, sure.
But here it's like more in. It's we're trying to do with intensity to see like it's like when you're fighting with a kid. And if you're a kid and you're fighting with another kid, you're gonna be like yelling and hey, dude, I'm gonna punch you in the face. But when you talk with an adult, he's gonna tell you like, sit down here. We need to talk. And you got more scared about that.
Yeah.
Even if it's some kid told you like, I'm gonna hit you in the face, you're gonna be like, fuck you, hit me in the face.
Sure, okay.
But if you're like adult come to you and say like, sit down here please for a minute, you're gonna be like, holy shit, I'm in trouble.
Yeah.
That's how we want to try to do. Like,
okay.
Like, dude, this is not a game. This is something is happening. And all the lyrics are changing too. With Maniqui Lazer, we talk about like kind of stuff like that. But now I'm sitting and I see all around the thing is this new song from the new record. It's called like Trust No God. And this I wrote this like these lines. It said like nobody can steal what we have. Nobody can steal what we made. Because that's like from like the people who work there. I mean, this thing about like Trump and thing is like nobody, dude. And it was like no wall can stop us. No rules can control us. That's how all the things what we do now. Like we're gonna say it like I'm writing about like actual things, not like things from the past or from the future. Like,
sure.
No, it's like this is happening now.
Whoa.
So let's talk about this now.
Uh-huh.
Probably in a couple of years, somebody shot Trump in the head, and I want to talk about it.
Uh-huh.
Or probably he's gonna be fucking king of the world, but I don't know.
Yeah.
But I want to talk about the present because is dangerous for everybody. Not only the U.S. government. I mean, everywhere.
Sure.
Everywhere is crazy. It's crazy how, I don't know. I'm trying to look on the internet every day to see like, okay, let's see how is it, or like when I get my computer to check my email, or to do some like social network, about the bands or stuff. I saw like, dude, what the? Every day is something you see, and makes you upset. Every day. You can open your computer or watch news and say like, oh, everything's cool.
Yeah.
I'm going to get some coffee and everything's cool. No, every day.
And do you think it makes like a general layer of anxiety, for everybody?
Yeah.
Well, I don't even know if it's for everybody, but at least for people that are kind of aware of things.
Or
that are
for
happening.
people who cares about the world, or even where you live.
Sure.
I mean, our president is this I don't know, the worst president we had like in a whole time.
In Mexico.
Yeah.
Right now. Is the
right
worst.
now, yes. Dude, that guy is an idiot. Like I can say it.
I think we can say it for ours too.
Yeah, I know. Well, but the thing is like, we're going bad. And I know all the people from Mexico can say the same thing.
It's a strange thing because so I don't want to go too. I don't want to like go down the political wormhole, but I feel like there's a lot of it's weird because the previous administration for the United States, there was a lot of really fucked up shit, like illegal drone strikes, and like thousands and thousands of people were getting killed, like civilians, and none of the people that are on the liberal side of the spectrum seem to really care. Like Obama was fine, but I mean, is Obama better than Trump? Yes. But it's the system, and it's the system that keeps all these things in place, and the system that controls other parts of the world or the world in general. And so that was something that I feel like, because I feel like if let's say Hillary Clinton won, it would kind of keep this like mediocrity. Like everyone would be like, oh, it's cool, and there'd still be the same kind of shit happening. And it's still the same sort of relationship with the border. I mean, I think it needed to get bad for people to be like, you know what, fuck this. Like we're gonna have to react.
And that thing is gonna happen at some point. People in the States, they're really into it now. Mm-hmm. They're watching every move,
but not enough though.
Yeah, I know, I know, but it's something, and it can be like a domino thing.
Sure.
Like if another people see people doing it, and it's gonna be, hey, yeah, he's right,
but you would have
they're gonna start doing it.
You would have expected it, like with George W. Bush's second term.
Do you know about the Russian guy, the neo-Nazi Russian guy in Mexico? You don't hear that?
No.
It's crazy. It was this Russian neo-Nazi guy.
Like he's a Russian citizen?
It's a Russian from Russia.
Okay.
But it was a
neo-Nazi. And he lives in Mexico.
He moves to Mexico. And he upload videos every day talking shit about Mexican people. Like with his computer open, with a swastika wallpaper. And he's like really, really talk shit about Mexican people.
In Spanish?
No,
yeah, I'm
dude,
joking, sorry.
In English. But it was like, he's doing it with his phone. He started like taking a video for people.
Where in Mexico was he?
Cancun. And he was like, oh, look at those monkeys and stuff like that. And then people just got really upset, and they went to his house, and they fucking beat the shit out of him. Like people, like some dudes,
like civilian, regular civilians,
like regular civilians, like the city went there at his house, and they almost kill him. He killed two guys with he stabbed them with a knife, but then they give him like with a bat, and like throw him rocks to his house. Dude, that was fucking crazy because people is fucking like tired of that shit.
Yeah.
But they like, how you say when people like try to is like a amount of people like.
Awesome.
Oh, but in Spanish is linchamiento.
Okay. Like a lynch mob, right?
Yeah.
Is that- okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was a lynch mob to him
Wow.
because people is tired of that shit.
Yeah. I mean, you do sort of see that here. You know, what's his name? Richard Spencer, right? You know, the guy that got punched in the face on. There's like it was like a social media.
I didn't know that.
Okay, well, same sort of similar thing, I suppose. You know, it's like the whole like Breitbart mindset where you have these like sort of neo-fascist, neo-Nazis, and it's acceptable for some reason to some extent, and people are getting fed up. But it's different in the States because I don't think you could get away with going and like fucking up someone, you know, unless you're cover your identity.
The thing that happens there in Cancun, it was like, what? I saw the news and I said, what? Like, how is a Russian neo-Nazi living in fucking Mexico and doing all this thing? People just got upset and went to his house and fucking beat the shit out of him.
Yeah.
I was like, whoa. Like, people, I just thought like, dude, this is crazy. People is really tired.
But there's a different. I don't mean any disrespect to Mexico, but there's a sense of lawlessness there.
Yeah, of course.
Here, it's like everything's surveillanced and everything goes to court.
I know,
So,
but there is not law anymore.
I know.
It's not law anymore.
Yeah.
Like people is hungry, is dying, is tired, is upset.
Sure. But here, there's nobody is able to have the guts to go do that.
That's the thing, because we got like we're being fucked up for so many years. So this is not new. So but about like all this thing and all the racist thing is happening on the social network and stuff. Like people is kind of like no, we're not like fucking the guys with the sombrero, and you cannot come to our country and tell us I've fucking been here. Like, fuck you, man. We're gonna beat you, we're gonna kill you, we're gonna, it's crazy. It's crazy. Like, and besides that, we got our president who's fucking taking all the money from for our country and doing just bad things. All the drug cartels are still working there and doing that, and is nothing happening. Just be there.
Well, do you think that the current U.S. administration's stance against illegal immigration and against border relations, do you think it really is a stance, or do you think it's like I feel like it was just a ploy to sort of like ignite the inspiration in like the white working class, the people that felt disenfranchised in America. He's like, we're gonna, because it's this whole concept of hating downwards.
Yeah.
So like, who can the white working class hate? The poorer Mexicans, right? Like they're below them, so let's hate them instead of like, what is our fucking government? Like we need to change and so there's like this sort of like misconception of what is a power, because what it is, it's Trump instilling, or whatever, the mindset of these people, such as the administration we have now, instilling this idea that they're the problem. It's just like Muslims. It's like, oh, the Muslims are the terrorists.
Yeah.
It's the fucking white people. It's Americans that are the terrorists.
Yeah.
They're the ones that created ISIS. They're the ones that funded bin Laden. Yeah. So these are kind of like things that...
Well, it's a lot of theories about it, but I don't know. I mean, I can't talk about that because I'm not living that, I'm not here in the country, and I'm not there in the Middle East. I can talk about like what I'm seeing, like,
but there's places
every day.
Sure, but there's places in Texas that are along the border, and the people in the United States that are like saying that you can not build a wall.
No,
because there's a lot of things that the administration didn't consider. A lot of it is the like environmental aspects of it, like just like building a wall through a river, or like like the wildlife not being able to move from one area to another. So and that
I don't know if that thing is gonna happen. Like is it been like a couple of years people are talking about that wall, and we actually have a wall now. It's not a wall, but it's a fence, and it's really tall. and to me it's I don't know. I grew up with that and saw that like fans or like every day of my life.
Well, it's interesting to think about. I mean, okay, so it's like theorizing, but like there's like the whole idea of the Reagan administration and the war on drugs, and that was the first thing where they were like the U.S. government. This is a conspiracy to some. It's pretty. I mean, you can research it and look into it yourself. But the American government, the U.S. government, was bringing drugs into the ghettos to keep people down. So that was like the sort of. I mean, it goes back to even like Vietnam, and it was like. So it is an interesting thing because I feel like for one, the issue with the Mexican U.S. border is what is it? Because I would Trump was saying like they're rapists and murderers, and it's like, well, none of it was really factual, and a lot of it was just bullshit, and to kind of like hype up this thing and to like get people fired up about something.
And fight each other. I mean, I'm from Mexico and you're from here, and we got a good relationship and we're friends, and I never raped anybody. I can tell, like, and you can know, and Jose Palafox, and all these people, and they're good people.
Sure.
And I think in the world it can be like good people and bad people. It's not like, oh, you're Mexican, you're bad, or you are from the States and you're racist, or you're it's like the media moves like the pieces to do something. They can create like the ways they want to run everything.
It's sensationalizing something, and then it sells. The media sells ad revenue.
Yeah, of course. Like, and because at the beginning it was like, this guy is crazy. Like Trump is like, whoa, that's a racist thing here. But now I think it's like, this guy is just a clown. He's a guy who the real leaders put in the front. So like, you talk about all this bullshit and let us work in the back. So if you say like, yeah, people like, there's the wall, fuck Mexicans, fuck Muslims. So the people who got like that little thing inside them, they're going to say like, yes, fuck them. And we can start all this, we can build all this thing, all this like stress or like sort of thing, and so when people is like focus on that, we can start working in other things. Can be, I don't know. I don't know. It's like I saw that in Mexico with our government every time. I think every 6 years.
It's interesting because have you been to Europe?
Never been.
Because I wonder what the response would be to a Mexican band in Europe, because there isn't a sense of hostility.
No. I think a couple of friends that are Mexican and they are Mexican bands play there, and the people from Europe love them like a human beings, like a person, not like a musician, but like a person. and they always say like, oh, people from States, I hate them. Yeah. But you're from Mexico, you're cool. Like, what?
I've been in Europe and I've said I was Canadian to avoid getting beat up.
Wow. You see?
Yeah.
I'm not lying. That's what I heard. And I don't know why, but
what about when we went to Canada?
Oh, remember?
You just walked right in, and
we went. I remember I was on tour with Old Leather, and we went to Canada. And
you had a drum set and
I got
suitcase.
A drum set in a suitcase, and obviously my last name is like Mexican, and my first name and my middle last name is like Chinese. So I went there and it's like, oh, what is your name? I was like, okay, this is my name. It's Jung Sing. He's like, what are you doing here? I was like, well, I came to play a show. And so like, okay. And then I looked back and I was like, whoa, where's Justin and Nathan? And they went to a second,
we were detained for hours.
They got you for 3 hours, right?
It was at least 2. But the weird thing was we both had, him and I had criminal records, and so we had to pay an extra fee to get into Canada.
Wow.
But the crazy thing was we were sitting there in this room, and there was 2 things happened. This woman got busted for somehow smuggling illegal jewels, jewelry and stuff.
Oh yeah.
And it was insane. She had a ton of jewelry, and it was all. It was somehow it was illegal. I don't know how. I mean, we just could only overhear certain things. The other thing was a guy got busted for bringing in cocaine. He had a lot of cocaine, and I think maybe pills too. But And so we're sitting there going like, God, we're like lumped in with these people. But it was a really interesting thing to think about the border relations, like getting into Mexico. I mean, we weren't treated too badly, you know. I mean, they kind of like they were pretty shitty to us, but it wasn't like a big deal. But I could only imagine what it must feel like the fear or the anxiety. I mean, I can't even imagine actually, you know, like what it must feel like for people from Mexico coming into the United States, especially illegal immigrants coming through with a much different purpose. You know, like we're going through to play music. We have a show booked. There's some sort of like dynamic within a booking agent or a promoter, like an illegal immigrant coming to work for a shitty wage to feed their family back in Mexico has so much fear and anxiety. I couldn't believe it. You know, I couldn't even imagine how it must feel. So it was such a strange thing to think about the dynamic.
Yeah, it's weird you're talking about this because to me it was different. I feel really cool for the first time cross a border and people say like, oh, you're fucking welcome. I come in and I was like, yes, thank you. Because I'm not like a rapist and I'm not trying to like.
What were the things that you were a rapist and a murderer?
And a murderer or I
something
don't know.
else.
I just came.
I want to know all the things that Trump said you were.
What are you going to do here? And it's like, well, I'm going to play music. And say, oh, awesome.
And that was it.
Cool.
Yeah.
And that's it. Where are you going to play? And I said, like, well, in this, I don't remember, in this festival or Vestal thing.
Whistler,
British Columbia. And I said, and bam, that's it. That's the only thing they said. And to me, it was different. You said, like, whoa, for the first time you felt the thing is like all this,
but I still didn't even feel. You know what? Like when we sat there,
it's not the same.
But we still had this like, as like a U.S. citizen, I had this sense of arrogance. Like, you know what? Fuck these people. I'm gonna get in here. Yeah. You know, but I highly doubt someone saying that coming into the United States getting detained. Yeah, but we were certain. I was like,
of course they're gonna give me
like. You know, our whole thing was like, fuck these people. They're taking up my valuable time, which whatever. And they're going to make us pay like a couple $100. Like, but I had this like sense of arrogance.
You see, it's just different because some people in Mexico, if the border patrol told them like, no, you'll tell them like, no, you cannot cross. They cry because they have family here.
Yeah.
Or sometimes they're like they pay money
sure.
to people like to help them to cross.
The coyotes would
the coyotes and all this stuff. Yeah, it's weird because how people like, fuck this, I'm going to Mexico and I'm going to cross the border for sure. They're going to let me in. But people in Mexico are like, please God, let me in.
So have you ever had a problem where you just weren't allowed to come here?
Just one time they use like the dogs to smell. One time this dog smelled me like really, really like bad, and I was like, what the fuck? And like I don't have any drug on me, or like I don't even use drugs. And they took me to this like little room and they asked me like, where are you going? And I'm going to San Diego, and we're to visit a friend.
Were you going to rehearse?
Yeah. But I cannot say.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. and I was like, okay, visit a friend. And like, where your friend lives in San Diego? Which part? Like Golden Hill. Yeah, but you don't bring any drugs? And like, no. Can you take your shoes off? And down the shoes and the pants, the shirt, and everything. And I was like, dude, you know I don't have any drug on me. You know who's the people who got the drugs. You know, like it's just a waste.
You said that
time.
to them?
No.
Oh,
never.
yeah.
No, because the thing they do, they took your visa and they cut it. And they said you can cross anymore. But at that point, I need to cross because I played in a band in San Diego, and I have to cross every day, or not every day, but like
once every couple weeks or whatever.
I have to go and buy stuff here in the States and stuff like that. But it's weird. It's super weird. Because people is really scared about the guys who was in the border.
So what do you think about like if you were on tour? Let's say you were like in New York or something, and I mean, I'm sure there's immigration police active there now, right? I mean, they're everywhere. So like, I mean,
if we're there playing,
can they just be like, we're sending you home right now, like detaining you, and
they're gonna like take us to jail now.
Huh? Do you know of that happening to people, like not right in like San Diego or Bogota?
I heard this band from Italy got deported on Side by Southwest.
Oh yeah.
I heard that in another band. But if I'm going on tour right now, and they know we're playing there, and somebody's gonna pay us some money, it's like working here.
Yeah.
So we're gonna be in jail.
It's crazy because I remember going to Canada, and you know, it's usually, well, back in the past we'd have like a fake recording contract, and then this is like before the internet, you know, and they would like call a number and it'd be like some kid's house phone but hooked up to an answering machine saying like, oh, you've reached this studio, and you know, like it's like a fake thing, like, oh, we're going to go record a record, we're going to spend money in your country, and then and they're cool with that. But now it's with the internet. But I remember like being held at the border, I think with the Locust or yeah, it must have been with the Locust or some girls, because it was weird. We were all in this room, and they're like, I mean, I'm sure they have a strategy. So we're sitting there for a long time, and it's late at night, and they're like, you know, all right, who's, you know, Justin Pearson? I'm like, oh shit, yeah, me, you know. And they're like, how do you like that Dan Armstrong bass? And I'm like, what the fuck? How do they know what kind of bass I have? And they're like, you know, this is like the day of the internet, so you know they're Googling everything, and they're like, oh, you're on Wikipedia. Like, you know, we looked up your name and you're listed as like you play the Dan Armstrong bass. And the guy's like, I have a Dan Armstrong too. And I was like, oh, cool. You know, and I'm just like, oh my God, please don't see like, you know, like the Retox mature science video or something where we're like killing a cop, you know, or, you know, I'm like, oh God, it's only art, you know. And but I'm like thinking like they're gonna, you know, they know everything, you know, like,
yeah.
So like, why couldn't someone just be like, you're a band from Mexico, you're playing this, you're doing this tour?
You know, we got some like stuff to snake, you know, like when we didn't never say the real name of the band. That's a good thing.
Yeah.
Because one time we did it, and the officer just took his computer. It's like, you're this guy, and I was me playing drums.
What band was it?
Maniqui Lazer.
What happened?
No, they're like, oh yeah, but that's my older band. And I'm like, okay. No, and it's like, what's the name of the band? It's Maniqui Lazer, and it's like, oh, so you're this guy? Like, oh no, but this band is another band. I play in that, and so what's the real name of this band? I was like, I just say another name. It's like, okay, so you're going to play, and I'm like, yeah.
Huh.
So how much they're gonna pay you? No, they're not gonna pay us.
Yeah.
We're going for just some promotion.
And
it's a friend. And that's it. You remember when we were on tour with Old Leather, we went to a couple of like checkpoints, and I said like, well, I'm a photographer and I'm your friend. I'm not playing drums here.
Yeah. But all they had to do was Google it, and they see the photo, and then they see photos of like you and I like making out and shit, and they're like, all right, you're going to jail.
Yeah, but together, you know, because okay, it's a gay stuff. This is a punk band talking shit about all this shit. And this is illegal. This guy.
So would you say that you've been successful up to this point? By successful as far as like avoiding?
I'm successful, not like about the money thing or the fame, but I'm successful to still here doing it. I think in my friends who's doing it with me, they're successful too, because we're not throwing the towel, even if we know we can be in jail for some reason. I feel like a criminal, but it's not. In the past, if they cut you, they're gonna say like, "Yo, go to your country," and that's it. But now, and now I heard like if you're like doing something illegally,
they put you in work camps, detainment camps. No,
Yeah.
they do, and they hold you illegally.
But I got my visa. I'm not illegal. I mean, I can cross the border. Just I cannot work here. And they think this is a work. Like playing music is work, even if they don't pay you shit.
Yeah.
But
a lot of us that are on that side of the tracks, the working class sort of musical, you know, it isn't really work if you consider the amount of money we get paid, if we get paid anything. You know, we lose money, but the point is like a normal person wouldn't be able to understand that.
No. And it's people who's really illegally working here. Illegally.
Oh yeah, of course.
Like, but we are musicians, and if people say we're illegal, I can stand in the side of the illegal thing, you know, because I'm not gonna stop doing this because this is things I like to do, and it's the only thing how I can like show to people what I think, or they put you like some like, they put attention up. Like, oh, what he's saying, because the music is cool, but let me see what he's saying. This is the only way to say it, like, oh, this is happening in my country and around the world. And I don't know.
Do you think like when you would tour, maybe more so recently with Silent around the U.S., like when you were playing shows, did you ever end up getting into those conversations with people that didn't?
Yeah.
They were like, whoa, like what we're talking about. Like, did this ever come up?
We remember. I remember when we were on tour with Retox. It was like kind of like a month tour almost, and it was all states. Well, a good amount of cities from the states, and it's weird because we were on the van or car or whatever. We were there and we were talking like, dude, if somebody got you doing this.
But I mean, you never engaged in this kind of conversation at a show.
Well,
with
sometimes people come to me and it's like, what do you think about the Trump thing? Because at that point, Trump was like,
he wasn't elected yet.
Yeah, but he was like on the run of it, and I just said, well, for me, it's fucking bullshit. You know, it's not good and blah blah blah. And people like, it's hard to do it, and ask me like, oh, what do you feel? Deep inside of us, we were kind of like scared. You know, like, oh shit, this is not good. But when we play every night, we was like, oh, let's do this thing. And we were playing like with the whole thing and trying to do it good every night. But after that, like, whoa, this is worth it, because we're not gonna do like that much money, or because I have my own like job there in Mexico. Like, it's really what's gonna happen if they gut us or like take us to jail. And I don't know, but we fucking did it, and people talk about us, about like the Trump government and what is going to happen if Trump got elected, and I just like I don't know, we have like a really like big troubles there in our country too.
So what do you would you consider yourself I mean, you wouldn't consider yourself a patriot? Like, are you a proud Mexican?
Yes, I am. I am a proud Mexican. But I'm sometimes I feel like.
But you hate your government?
Yes, my government. Yes, my country and my people. This is a real shit. You know, this people who stand there every day and they don't care about nothing. They're just trying to live, and I think to live a good life like a human being. And for me, I'm really.
They're trying to live, not leave. Live. Okay.
They live like a human being, like, and. I'm really proud of my people, you know, Mexican people, but my country, my government, I'm saying. My government is like, it's crazy now. And I feel bad because Mexican people is really tired. It's really, really, really tired. So it's all these weird things that are happening. People is killing each other because it's like, I need the money and I need money and blah, blah, blah. And they're trying to hustle in so many ways because it's hard to live.
What do you feel, Luke, about like? Because for me, as a U.S. citizen, I can't. It's hard. I would like I think I'm too far on the left and too radical to say. I don't even consider myself an American, but like it's hard to relate in that sense. Like I'm not proud of Americans. Like I'm not like proud of the people of America. I think the country's fucked. I think the people are fucked. Sorry.
I think too is this with Mexico and you being proud of being a Mexican and your people. You have a more of like Mexico has like an actual culture.
Yeah.
And the way I love the Mexican culture, I love the arts, and it's very like family and friend orientated, and you know the food, and you have a culture here. We kind of really don't. We don't really have the 4th of July.
The basis of American culture is oppression.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's weird because like you say, like the family thing in Mexico is weird because you're probably gonna be like 28 years and you're gonna still live with your mom. It's weird because because the thing is like that, you know, because the family's like that. But here in the States, you are 13 and the thing is like you're going to live by yourself.
Yeah,
because it's the culture. It's different. Yeah. Moms there in Mexico, they're like, oh, my mom is like, oh, mijo, come here, you know, and you're stay with your kid until he's 30, and she's gonna be like all over you.
Yeah. I guess American culture would be to give your kid antidepressants and set them in front of the TV, and that'll be good enough.
Yeah, that's it. Like, okay, give you a pound, that's it, and they're gonna give you like a in your bag,
a pat
in your bag, and hey, you can go and live your own life. But dude, I'm fucking 13, 14.
Yeah. Huh.
How you're gonna show me that, you know? and it's just crazy.
Yeah. It is an interesting contrast. I I would love to know how it must feel to say like I'm proud of being this. I'm a mutt, and I don't identify with American culture in any way, shape, or form. It's not because I for one like I don't I can't fully understand the oppression that this country implements on other parts of the world, but I can definitely I'm aware of it, and I can definitely feel something for it, and it's repulsive, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, like, how do you think that Mexican culture has been able to create this really nice, sort of loving thing that you both have addressed, and at the same time have a government that's also part of this oppressive element?
Yeah, I mean it's weird. I cannot identify with that. You know, I just know like the only thing you have in Mexico to get the strength to live is just your family, because we don't have like a good jobs or like a money thing, and just the family. The family is just the only thing, is a bridge to live a good life. You know, if we don't have money, you talk with your cousin. It's like, dude, I need some money, and your cousin gonna say, yeah. I think here in the States, you would call your cousin, hey, can I get some money? You're going to say, fuck you, dude.
Yeah.
I have to work. You have to work.
It's crazy, too. A lot of my Mexican friends in the States, not a lot, a few of them have supported their parents once they became, 18 or whatever, and paid for their parents.
Some sort of money.
There's not a lot of Americans. Well, I mean, there are Americans but they're Mexican culture has like kind of implemented that, but I've never seen like white people do that for the most part. It's been like it's everyone for their own. Everyone's on their own.
Of course, that's hard in me. Hear that in me is like whoa, because sometimes like I remember my father died. He always talked to me and said like, "Are you okay? Like how is your life now?" Like good. Do you need some money? And like, no, I'm okay, thank you. Or sometimes like, yes, I need some money. And I was like 27, 28. And my mom's like, hey, do you eat today? Like, yes, in the morning. No, come here. I'm going to give you something to eat. But I know here, the U.S. culture is different. Like, I don't care if he's fucking 18.
Yeah, it's
fucking 16.
It's harder, not harder. Like it's sterner, more stern, or like less loving.
Like, yeah, I give you legs, just go and walk. It's like something like that, right?
Yeah.
I just made you so now you can live. Sure, but there is like it's culture.
I think over here too. There's so much going on. There's so much things like parents want their own lives, and it's like. There's something as opposed to like Mexico, everything is revolved around your family. The mom is cooking 3 times a day and make sure her kids are eating.
Yes.
As opposed to now moms here want to just, here's a cheeseburger from the drive-thru. Now let me get back to my Facebook account and stuff like that in my life.
That's a new thing. There in Mexico is too now about all this social media and stuff. Tablets and iPhones are the babysitters.
Yeah, but even before that, though, I mean, I grew up and I never had. I mean, I had TV dinners more than I've ever had cooked meals. And it was like, I was what's it called, latchkey kid. I'd let myself in. I would microwave my food and I would watch TV, and that was my childhood.
Yeah, for so many like kids.
It's funny too, is because I'm half Mexican. My mom is Mexican. And my mom always made sure we ate. She always made sure if I was going to leave somewhere, she was very
much so you understand
like
what I'm saying.
Yeah, I eat
it's
3 times
totally
a day.
Different, yes. Moms there in Mexico, they gonna make sure you eat 3 times a day. Like bam, bam, bam. Like you eat? No. Okay, come here. Come over to our house. Eat something. I can give you money if you need to eat. Like what? Even now, my mom called me sometimes, and I'm 34 now. Call me like, do you eat today? Yes, I did.
Well, so what does she think about what you do musically?
She actually...
Has she seen you play?
Yeah, one time. Yeah, but she just let me be me. Let me like do your thing. Even that makes you happy, go there. But I got a good relationship with my mom, and I'm never like have a problem with this. Like, you decide to do this, do it.
That's an interesting thing because, I mean, I grew up differently. My mom and I have a great relationship now, but it was a lot different when I was a child. And it's strange because, I mean, even before, like my mom kicked me out when I was 16, but she still would go see me play. I mean, she bought me my first amp and stuff like that. I actually still have the same cabinet, bass cabinet that she bought me when I was 15. And it's, so it's like she's been very supportive, but a lot of it I feel like might have been coming from a place of guilt. You know, she saw maybe, I don't know, like the issues that kind of made themselves apparent in my childhood and felt bad. And then like, but my mom would go see me play. She's seen most of my bands play, and she loves you, and she loves most of my bandmates. She's always asking, how's Jung, and how's, you know, she even knows like how, you know, Marcel from Das Oath, she knows him, you know, she calls him Vinny or something like that, because he, you know, but like she, you know, and she knows like Gabe really well and stuff. But you know, like, I'm so grateful that I have that. And it's funny because when people like, you know, they'll interview me and say like, what are your influences? And like one of the first things that I always would say is like my mom, you know, that's like one of my influences, the good and the bad. I mean, I love my mom unconditionally, you know, but she brings that in me. But you would have to say the same thing, I guess, right?
Yeah, I mean, we all got like bad and good experience with parenthood, I guess. And that makes you do this. If everything was perfect, I would be a doctor right now. My father was a doctor, and he wants me to do it.
Oh yeah,
But I don't know. It's just society makes you be like this, and family a little bit, and nobody is. There's a lot of people doing music, but no, not all of them got like a bad situation. And I'm not gonna say I lived like a horrible childhood. No, I remember good things and I remember bad things, and I don't know.
But it makes you who you are.
Yeah,
and,
of course,
yeah,
it makes me who I am. I mean, I remember like the only thing I really hated was I got a good relationship with my dad too and my mom, but I remember they fought all the time, like bad. Like what the fuck? They fucking hate each other.
Huh.
Wow.
But they've been together for 15 years. 50 years.
50
years.
Whoa.
But they really hate each other. And I remember like living in that kind of environment is kind of like, what the fuck? Like, whoa, they fucking fought. I remember like bad.
Do you think that
screaming and yelling and all the time, and we're like, what the fuck?
Do you think that made it you know, like, how do you feel like what raised you? Like, for me, I'll say, like, punk raised me, you know?
For me, I think the streets and society. I'm not going to say, like, well, I came from the streets, but it's really,
of course.
It's really my neighborhood. Because I've been around there walking and a couple of friends, like, really playing music. And I'm like, I want to play in a band.
Yeah.
I want to start how to know to play guitar. And I want to do all this. And I start, bam, I know this band. And I got this cousin who loves music. And I remember he showed me, I was really, really young. And he put me this, like, VHS from The Wall from Pink Floyd, the movie. And I was like, what the fuck is this? I really don't like Pink Floyd now. At that point, for me, it was like, holy, all the cartoons were there, and I saw. I don't even understand what happened with Bob Geldof, do all this like neo-Nazi thing, and he used the shave and all this stuff. I was like, what? I like, no, what is that? And all the music and the screams and that. And that was one of my things. I saw that and I was like, whoa, I want to understand what it is. And they showed me this other, it was a beta. You remember the beta? Yeah, cassette. And I saw Synchronicity from Police.
Police, yeah.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, dude, I want to do this.
You wanted to be like Sting, huh?
No, I actually, it was weird because I was really, really focused on the drummer.
Whoa, okay.
He's
And
a great drummer.
Yeah, Stephen Copeland was his name. Yeah, I remember I was like, what? And it was really it was really young, and then I started like buying cassettes and some records and stuff, and bam, that's it. It's like a drug. If you're into it, that's it. You never escape. Sometimes like kind of like music, but just from on the surface. But if you go up, if the music hits you really, really, really in your heart or real deep in you, you're done. You're gonna do music and you're gonna hear music their whole life. That's how it happens to me. Even if it was shitty music.
If it's shitty, you might not know it's shitty though.
Yeah, at that point you're gonna say, "Whoa, the drummer is insane," or like the music. But then you grow up and it's like, "What the fuck?" I was listening to these records. I mean, I'm not gonna say The Wall is bad, but you're a kid. You always have bad taste in music. Remember, we were talking about like when you're like kids, and then you grow up and it's like, "What the fuck? It's
Kiss.
fucking bullshit."
Yeah, I was obsessed with Kiss, but for the wrong reasons, you know. I
Yeah,
liked
for the makeup and all this
I thought
stuff,
it was
like
so
a
cool.
kid.
Yeah,
Of course.
and then I heard that song Beth, and I realized that they're garbage.
Dude,
It was really to me they were really misleading because I'd seen Kiss, so many times, and then when I heard it, I was like, "What the fuck is this?" Or like the Grateful Dead, there was like some psychedelic. There was like Pink Floyd that was really trippy, and then I just saw Grateful Dead and associated with LSD and these big acid things.
Yeah.
And then when I finally heard it, I was like, "What?" It's like driving my train. I was like, "Well, I was expecting like." LSD
all this
stuff.
weird stuff. Yeah. And, like sometimes
It was
like
just like rock and roll.
yeah, you found some records like and you saw the cover and it's like, whoa, this looks like crazy. And then you play the record and what the fuck?
Yeah.
That's all
Well,
weird.
so that's interesting because for me it was like I remember like discovering, like the Sex Pistols, but like even like more obscure like Sig Sputnik or the Cramps or something where you're like where you do see it and you're like. As a kid, I was like, "Holy shit! Everything about this is fascinating." What was that for you though? What was the one? Obviously, Pink Floyd didn't grab you like that. What was the one thing where you're like, "This is it"?
I don't know. I remember I was at my cousin's house and he was a kind of like a punk, and he played me the birthday party.
Hands up, who wants to die?
One time, and I was like, "Oh, this is not good." Like this is crazy. This is not like this is not like ordinary. Or like when the first time I heard like Cabaret Voltaire or bands like that, it was like, what? No, this is the devil, like real thing, not Kiss. Because I remember people say like Kiss, they are like satanic band, and they were talking about love and like drinking beer or something like that. And then I saw this like the rage on these bands like all obscure and stuff, and I was like, what? No.
So you thought it was bad? Because for me, when I saw it,
no bad. It scares me a little bit, but it was fascinating. At the same
sure.
time.
So you were enthralled with everything about
It
it.
scares me, but at the same time, I'm like, no, I don't want to stop hearing this. And bands like that, and then like show me like Ministry and stuff like that. I was like, holy shit, this is not Skinny Puppy, something like that. And okay, and then PIL and all these bands, and it was crazy. And then you start decide what do you like, like, oh, okay, this is sound like not that good like this band, and, but this is better than this band, and now you start like become a critic, a critic of your own like perception of music.
Sure, a snob.
Yeah, snob, yeah, a little bit. Yeah, because where you're like super young and you talk with other kids, you're like, this band, and then I don't know that band. I know that band. And, you're all the time, and then like now. I don't care what I'm hearing. I just hear something and say, "Well, that's good." I'm like, dude, but you play in a punk band. I'm like, I don't keep a fuck. I like this one. I like this track. I like or that track. Like I don't know. It's just stuck in my head.
Another thing too that maybe this is going to derail where we're going, or maybe not, but it's interesting to think about this because you as a musician and an artist. There's this like I think Gabe was interviewed, Gabe Serbian, and they asked him about like what hardcore bands he likes, and he said, "I don't listen to hardcore, I just play it." And I feel like maybe that way about. I think maybe you have that same kind of mindset because when I listen to your style of drumming, it seems it's funky and weird and like in a good way, and abstract and not approached like a normal musician would playing that kind of music.
Yeah, because it's weird you're bringing this up because when I started playing drums, I wasn't a drummer. I play guitar in previous bands of Maniqui Lazer, but our drummer like missed like 4 or 5 rehearsals. He said like, no, I cannot go, and we got the necessity to start doing music. And I remember the bass player at that point told me like, can you play drums? And I said no, but I can try. So we started to rehearse, and then I know the drum beat, but I'm not considering myself as a drummer. And then I became a drummer. But I think, and so that's why probably I'm not like a legit drummer, or like my drum beats are not like a, because I'm a how do you say, like a feeling drummer. Like I just feel beat and it's like, oh, that's it. But it's wrong, dude. You're playing, but I don't know. But that's the way I think it fits.
Yeah, of course.
And that's what I'm saying. And the thing is, like, when I start playing drums, I had to sing at the same time. So I was singing and drumming at the same time, and it was weird. But that's why that kind of thing affect the way I play drums. Because I'm not consider like myself as a real drummer. Because I know a couple of friends I know, and they're like a killer drummers, like a real good drummers, and it's like, I'm never gonna play drums like that. But I can sit there for sure and make something. It fits.
Yeah.
It fits. It makes something like, I don't know.
I think you're a fantastic drummer, but you're also very theatrical too. You know.
Yeah, that's animated.
A
right?
performer, like you.
Yeah, more than.
Which I think is important too, you know.
Yeah, of course, because I saw so many good drummers, and they don't give you nothing live. You got a drummer, and he's gonna be killing it, but you're gonna be like, oh, that's so boring. But you saw a drummer who did like some specific thing, not like a big deal, but you're watching him killing it, like moving and sweating, and you're gonna be like, boom, that guy is fucking killing the whole thing. I mean, it's like you say, JP, is like. It's two things. To be a like amazing drummer can be like a killer, and then like a real like animated drummer, and he's gonna be a killer.
Yeah.
You know, he's gonna be an awesome drummer, because it's all of both things together are like a magic.
Sure.
With silent, it's the same thing. I can stand there and try to sing, and trying to do my best vocal thing, without moving, without getting tired. You know, so I can breathe and sing, but for me it's boring. Just want to sweat and spit and to feel the thing, and to show the people how it feels, you know.
But there's a thing that happens though. I mean, at least for me, like I'd always say this to, like, I don't know, people that I would play with, like you wait for the first snare hit of the set, and once that snare hits,
starts, yes.
But it's like a time machine, or it's like a wormhole or a black hole. You come out on the other side, and everything in between that is irrational.
And also shadows.
Sure. Yeah.
When it starts, when the first note starts, boom, boom. That's it. It's crazy because you go into this dimension inside you. That's what I feel. Is a dimension, and you go inside yourself, and you're doing it. And I remember. Well, people tell me, but I when I start to play, I grab people and do stuff and say, you did this. Like, really? Like,
yeah.
Because you're really focused on what you're doing, and that's the beauty of it. Because if you have some like problems or like stress for something there for this 20 minutes, you're just that thing. The thing is inside you, just come out, and it's like if you do, how you say, like when you put if you change, I don't know how to say it. When you got like your skin and you're like
put like inside out or something.
Inside out, yeah. It's like this moment when you're inside out. Boom, like this. It's another stuff is coming out, and then you're back. And like, oh yeah, I did it.
Yeah.
Like, so yeah, what do you think? It's cool, and it's like, yeah. What happens? It's like, yeah, cool. What do you think? It was cool. And they're like, yeah, that was you killing it there. Like, really? I don't know. That's it. But that's good. You know, that means you're really focused on what you're doing.
Yeah. maybe too, like for me, like I always find, this is an interesting thing too, because when I was playing with Brian Evans, who was in Retox, he had this like competitive nature in him, and I think because he was a drummer that would go and he was like a gospel drummer, gospel chops, and like he would kind of have these sheds where they would like compete. And I remember him having this conversation with Joey Karam, from the Locust, and Joey was very adamant about making his point that there shouldn't be a competitive element with a show, And I get it if a band is a bunch of assholes and you want to fucking rip harder than them, but like it was a weird kind of thing, and I saw both sides of it already, but it was interesting conversation. So he would say like, why do you need to compete? Because you're all comrades. You should all feel the same. And I mean, I feel that when Retox is on Toward Silent, it wasn't like we have to be better than them. It's like, we're doing this together. Like we're here for one or many reasons, and we're here as one thing though, and it was a very interesting thing. But I noticed it like earlier on when the Locust toured with Airborne Radar and Lightning Bolt on the Oops tour. There was with Lightning Bolt they had this sort of sense of competition, and they were like very opposed to bands that were other two-piece bands, or they were very opposed to having to play before Airborne Radar, things like that. And I was very turned off by that negativity, because I thought like, man, I mean, for me, I was like, I'm in the Locust and we're so stoked to play with Lightning Bolt and Airborne Radar. And then like, but then like, oh, then Hella's gonna play too, or Orthrealm's gonna play too, and they're both rad two-piece bands. But Lightning Bolt was like against it, and I was like, this is weird, because we're all the same or of the same, something. Yeah. And
I mean, to us is different. Of course, we want to perform like the best we can every night, but it's not like competition. We're doing our stuff, and another bands are doing their stuff. It's not the same.
Sure.
So just do the better you can
for yourself,
for your band, for your friends who are playing with you. And even when like you say, and like, I don't want to be like more like animated than my drummer or my no, we're a complement together.
Sure.
We every piece in the band has to be level 11.
Yeah.
In like each one.
But everything has to be. It shouldn't be competition. It should be inspirational.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what I'm. That's with all that other happens to me. I was drumming, and if I felt kind of like tired or something, I remember I saw you like screaming and jumping and stuff, or Nathan ripping in, and I was like, ew, I have to put more effort on it. No more like, oh, they're winning, or like, no.
Yeah.
I just want to be the whole thing looking like fantastic,
sure,
or sounding crazy.
Or I mean, even in All Other too, I would look over and see you playing, and like I would see you like destroying an electronic drum set, and I would just be like, oh my god, it's fucking crazy, he's doing that. And then it comes out of me like, I'm gonna just do this other crazy thing too, and like, I just,
as a compliment.
Yeah, like but it wasn't even like but I don't even think I was able to consciously like go, oh, I'm thinking this. It was just like, like energy was like exchanged.
Yeah, that's the best thing. When you give some energy to the guys from your band members, like bandmates, and you're like, bam, it's magic.
Yeah,
like everybody's jumping and screaming and doing the thing, and it's beautiful when you saw bands like that, when they have that connection.
It's just, I wish everybody had that.
yeah. No, I saw some bands. They're yelling at each other and you're doing it wrong and stuff like that. I'm like, oh, dude, don't. Just leave it and let things happen.
Thanks for listening to Cult and Culture. That was our episode 3 with Jung Sing. Stay tuned for future podcasts, and thanks for tuning in.